My co-host this morning is Bradley Gilbert. Good morning, Bradley.
Good morning, Becky.
And in the hot seat, we do have, actually, this is Education Wednesday, and we do have Allison Hine. Allison, good morning.
Good morning, Becky.
And Allison is the elementary school. I just think this is fantastic. Elementary school music teacher.
Yes.
I am so happy about this. This is so much fun, and we're anxious to get to meet you and talk about you, and find out about you. We're not talking about you. Find out about me. We might talk about you too. All good.
Yeah.
All right, let's thank our sponsors.
Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Dr. Lexi Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Burley Wealth Management.
Yay, thank you to our great sponsors. And today is, let's see here, it's the Graphic Information Systems Day. And I guess it kind of shows like graphics just showing like weather and, okay. This is also have a party with your bear day. There's too many bear days, too many teddy bear days. You know what I mean?
I wasn't aware.
Well, you have to do a lot extra getting close to the holidays.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, because a lot of kids want to.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Although they do have, Monday we talked about a new kind of a bear they have. It's an adult male bear, and yeah, he's like 7 foot tall, and yeah, it's different.
Oh my!
But yeah, it's kind of different. Allison, we probably don't want you to hear that. Your little elementary ears do not.
I do band too. That's high school.
Okay. Let's see. Your International Check Your Wipers Day. Good idea. Good idea.
I was just thinking about that yesterday.
Definitely. International Day of Tolerance. Oh.
Should be every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, back to the wipers. Now that
Yeah.
the weather's changing and everything, I'm sorry to go down a rabbit hole with this. But just remember that when the temperature starts getting lower, to wait if you're going to use your wipers to try to get debris off your windshield, that the windshield is warmed up and those wipers are not frozen to the windshield. And or you've taken your scraper and gotten them away from it, because you can do all kinds of damage to the windshield wiper because they're more rigid when it's colder weather,
Right.
and when they're stuck that can pull away. So then you'll have zero wipers when you may need it in snow or sleet or something like that.
A little
So
public service
just remember that.
announcement. Yeah,
Yes.
good, thank you.
Yes.
Good food for thought. A lot of times we don't. We jump in. We
Yep.
try to turn those wipers on. You know what I mean?
You're ready to go.
Yeah, don't do that. National Button Day. Allison, do you say your button?
I don't. I'm not that much of a seamstress, I guess.
Bradley, do you got a button jar?
No.
National Educational Support Professionals Day.
Oh,
Love that.
I like that one.
Ooh, National Fast Food Day. Allison,
Oh,
I was going to
yeah.
get you some fast food. What would I be getting you?
Chick-fil-A. Every day.
Every day,
All
every
the
day.
time. Yep.
What about you, Bradley?
Well, right now, my McRib.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The love is real.
It
The
is.
love
It
is
is.
totally
It's
real.
so,
Yes.
Bradley,
Yes.
yeah. We Bradley and I have almost become one on our food, on our thoughts, on our yes, and McRib. Yes.
Yes.
Now you put that seed in there. Yeah.
and it's on its way out.
That's why we have to eat as many
That's
as
why,
we
yes.
can.
Are you
yes,
mourning the
yes.
loss of the McRib?
Well,
We do.
I've got black on today in preparation.
Ready for the McRib. That's right. Yeah.
I mourn two things: closing the pool and the McRib going
And the
away.
McRib going away. Please don't. You know what I mean? We had fun. We
Yeah.
had seasons in
Right.
the sun. Yes, it's a sad day.
Yeah.
But then comes the almighty Big Mac. Coming in
Well,
strong.
yes,
you know
absolutely.
That?
You can't
Yeah.
go wrong with that.
And those McChicken, or the wait, let me try to say the chicken nuggets. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking of our commercial when I do the Big Mac, the star of the Big Mac, and on the side the cheerleaders are the fries and the chicken nuggets. It's making it down. Yeah. But anyway.
Can't go wrong with any of it.
No, sounds good to me, for sure. And, okay, a little bit of a blast from the past. Allison, I promise we're going to get to you, but I have to go to Brad. We have to go down memory lane, and if I can find it, do you realize, we'll see, 5 years ago, what we were doing on this date, Bradley Gilbert?
We were probably across the street at a big celebration.
Oh, yes, we were, and I'm trying to find it, and it came up this morning on my memories, and they were just precious memories, and it was such a, here we go. Okay, we're going to get this up here. Hang on, just keep showing me other memories. Okay, well, actually, a year ago,
It was
we had brought the bus. Remember the Hoosier bus?
Oh, that's right.
The Hoosier bus from the movie Hoosiers?
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah,
That's
I got the
cool!
picture of us in my
here we
office.
are.
Yeah.
We
Oh, that's
brought the
awesome.
bus, yeah. And hang on, and then, so this, this is a big day for us, okay?
Yeah. 6 years ago was grand opening.
Yeah, that's
And 5 years ago was you came over, we did a 1-year anniversary bash too.
we sure did.
So,
and then remember we did
yeah.
also the truck pull. Remember the fire truck pull?
Yes, that was
Grand opening of
Walmart. Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
Our Walmart is fairly new.
Yes.
Yes, and then there we are with the and then the band came over and played.
Yes.
Yes.
And then we had the pulling of the fire truck.
The preschool from the Y came over and sang.
Yes, there's Mike
Aw.
King giving
The King giving
his blessings.
Yes.
There's Brad and I and interviewing Tony. And isn't that crazy that it's been, 6 years ago on this date? I remember, real quick, I just want to say, I'd never been to a Walmart opening, okay? First time ever. So, like, I get there early and just ready, and, like, the store, of course, it shines just on every day. It still shines. But it was just beautiful and never been anything like it. And then all of a sudden, like, they get in this group, this team group, and they start doing all of these, like, chants and happiness and just good vibes all around. And I'm like, wow. You know what I mean? You talk about bouncing off the wall, ready to go.
Right.
And it was just so cool to watch everybody. And, of course, what I thought was so nice, at the grand opening, they did things that were important to our community.
Yeah.
They did a prayer over the store. They did we had the national anthem sung. I mean, these were things that are rich in our community.
Right. Yeah.
And they just completely made it about, and and then they had the kids singing. It was just beautiful, wasn't it, Brad?
Yes, it was amazing, and I think that that experience going through it from behind the scenes, seeing all the hard work, because we took a shell. We took possession October 10th, which we were in the community a long time before that, getting staffed and things like that. We showed up in it doesn't seem like it, but we showed up in May, right?
Yeah.
Right before Memorial Weekend, and we were here all summer, and we were getting stuff. But we actually walked into the store to start doing things October 10th, and then, a little over a month later, we were ready to go. And but just to see that day as a celebration, and just all the good things, and so hats off to Mike and the team that do so much, and the folks that are still with us. And we've got so many people that walked in with us October 10th, and so that's a testament to us we're a little special, a little different here out in the middle of cornfields in Salem, Indiana. So we're very proud of that. I don't say anything like Mike and I go to meetings and all these big wigs, and we're proud of the fact where we are, and this community has embraced us. But that day is just it's just a celebration for all the hard work. And it's not the hard work of the management and the leaders in the store, it's a celebration of the associates that came in with us and what they do. They're the front line. They're the true warriors. And that was just a great day for us to I think that also set the tone for what we wanted to do in the community from day one. And I think that's important too. So.
Well, and all of the community are, it was packed.
Yeah.
Just everyone, coming out to see. And I think about that. Then let me go back. When my dad started the radio station in '53, I wasn't here, but I hear the stories about how it was packed. Like the first, you had a grand opening like that. And you go back, and when you have those memories with the community like that, it's just you treasure that. And just still, there was a lady that said her great grandmother said that she was there that opening day of WSLM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there'll be those that'll say I was there the opening day of Walmart. It's just those are just memories and treasures that you don't always get.
Yeah. And it was a great thing too, because there were people that some of the older generation, and I don't mean that disrespectfully at all, but they were talking to us that day, and it's just like, well, I'm glad that I got to see this day come. So and like my grandma, right? She passed away right after that, but she got to see me come home with Walmart. So so it was just a great day. So it doesn't seem like, though, it's been
6 years.
6 years.
I know,
It's not,
I know.
the pumpkin chunking we were doing.
Oh my goodness,
I mean,
we had
it's
so
just
much
a great,
fun.
We
had so much
great
fun.
time.
Yes, we rolled turkeys. We've done, we've
Oh my
done quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fire pool. Remember, we had one that had a heart attack. So, well, he was right. He was okay.
I figured. I mean,
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like buried over there next to the building.
Yeah.
Like that.
Like,
Right.
a little sweat on his brow.
Yeah.
All this, oh my goodness. Yeah.
And you know what was funny is, and we still talk about this, it's, there was
No,
dignitaries
you're not
coming
laughing,
in,
guys.
and they were so hilarious because we had a cow for
Yeah.
Prairie Farms had
Absolutely.
a cow
A real
on the
cow.
front sidewalk, and we had a frame, and people were getting their picture taken with the cow. And the regional Marlene at the time, she loved the little kids singing.
Oh.
She just loved the whole atmosphere of, you know, that
Well, who doesn't
we
love
said a
little
blessing over the store and all of that. But on top of that is she's like, in all my Walmart time, grand opening, I've never been to one where I actually got to get my picture taken with the cow. And she was so excited to get her picture taken with that frame. With
Absolutely.
so,
Best day ever.
yeah, I mean, that's just, you know, it's wonderful. So.
So anyway, I wanted to go down memory lane.
Yeah.
I just thought that was so fun. Yeah.
Thank you to all of our members of the community that have supported us, and we're just still honored and blessed to be here.
For sure.
And thank you for all your partnership from day one.
Oh, we had a
you
blast.
rolled into
Oh,
the
it was
the
like
hiring
very-
center, and it's just like Becky and I. You know, we've known each other for a little bit of time, you know, since we were young, which is not too long ago, just by the way.
Oh, of course.
But she rolls in, and we're just like, hey, and thank you to you and WSLM who've been one of our best cheerleaders. Throw back there.
And Allison, what's hilarious is, you know, I kind of have you don't know my father, but he had kind of a different mind, and I kind of have that, you know what I mean? So when I would shoot ideas to them, they yes, let's do it, you know what I mean? And so some of these things, you know what I mean, and
It was kind of funny because, you know, Mike King, I mean, he's amazing, but he's just like, I like her, we're going to do it, we're going to go, you know, and she's kind of like, I'm not used to people saying yes.
Usually it's like,
You throw these out and then people go,
oh yeah, usually it's Becky, we can't do that, the insurance. You know, no, Becky, you know.
you don't need insurance.
My King was checking all my boxes. Yes.
Wow.
So I know. So
That's awesome.
It was a fun day, for sure. So we had a great time, and
Cool.
I love that. And promoting was very easy, and it sells itself. It's beautiful over there. So
it
we
is.
get compliments all the time. And,
Yeah.
And I'm not even, you know, but everybody, you know, don't you, Bradley, on the from the associates to the building itself.
Oh yeah. Well, when we lived in Seymour not too long ago, we would make a point to go to the Salem Walmart instead of the one where we lived.
Yeah.
Because it was cleaner.
Oh,
The people were nicer. It was a better experience overall.
Oh.
And so, if you're somebody that works at the Salem Walmart and you're hearing this, you guys are doing a great job.
Oh, I love that.
People are coming from far away.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we hear that.
We hear that a lot, and it's not to say anything negative about our, you know, fellow Walmart stores and stuff. It's just, you know, and it's every single person. Doesn't matter if you have a title in the building. Every single person, they love what they do. They love taking great care of customers. They love taking great care of the store, and you know, it starts on overnights. You know, you can't shout out enough to them. You know, they're the warriors overnights that are not only stocking, and they do the bulk of the heavy lifting, but they're also the ones that are making sure stuff's put back in bins, and the back room is not blown up, and everything's ready to go. So when we open that morning, we have got, you know, we're ahead of the game. They get the store clean, and then it just continues. So it hands off. So we're very we love hearing that. But hats off to the associates, shoulder to shoulder. They're best of the best. Hands down.
Awesome. All right, Allison. Now it's all about you. Girl.
Oh no.
All right, so let's find out a little about Allison Mitchell. So Allison. I just been like, hi. I told you. Okay, I'm
It's
so
all
sorry.
right. It's all
Okay,
good.
go ahead. Let's find out about Allison Hine. About yourself. Where are you from? And
I'm from Columbus, Indiana.
Okay.
So this is a very different experience for me being down here, but I love it. My husband calls me a city girl all the time because, I mean, he grew up around here. But I have really embraced this community. We love being down here. I have been teaching music in an elementary school for 10 years now. I started out in Indy and made my way to Seymour and then up to Columbus, and then this job opened up at East Washington. That used to be Tammy Clemens, who was just a legend in her own right. She was amazing. And I decided to go for it, and here I am.
Yay.
And been loving it ever since. So.
Tell us about how did you meet? How did you meet your husband? Yeah.
Well, you know Jeremy Goen.
Yes.
Yes. So he get this right. His niece is one of my best friends.
Okay.
And one day, we were at my best friend's wedding, and he officiated their wedding.
Oh.
And so we kind of got close when we were there that day. And we also worked at a summer camp together called MSC.
Okay.
And one night, Jeremy and Jennifer sat me down one evening. We were all just having dinner together, and they said, "We have a guy for you."
Oh.
And I said, "No, I'm not doing this. I've done this already too many times. I'm not doing this again." And they said, "No. Like, you got to meet this guy. We think he's right for you." And I was like, "Yeah, well, I don't know." So 8 months later, I asked my best friend, who's Jeremy's niece, I said, "Should I text Jeremy and ask about this guy?" And she goes, "You should do it." So I just said, "Jeremy, I have a question for you." And he goes, "Is Mitchell single?" "Yes, he is." And I said, "Yes, I guess."
I love this. Okay.
And I guess, because Mitchell worships where Jeremy preaches, and they cornered him one evening and said, "We have a girl for you." And he was like, "No, I don't do this either." Like, that's just the way it was. And we got each other's numbers and started texting, and here we are. Been married for almost 7 years, and Jeremy officiated our wedding, and so we're very, very, very grateful to them. And
that's fantastic. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I hope that.
Sorry if that was too long.
No, I love that. It's so awesome because I love to hear stories like that, and that is a Hallmark story. And then you came down and became a part of our community and jumped right in.
From the moment I met his family and started coming down here to visit, I mean, I felt at home here. And so I've told everybody, I'm like, if there ever is a job position that opens up down here, tell me immediately. I want to be here.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And praise God for here.
Yes, absolutely. It worked out perfect. Yeah. And of course, the Hine family is a beautiful part of our community, so that's awesome. Yay.
Very blessed to be a part of them.
Yes. And I'm sure you've heard all kinds of beautiful stories about the Christmas tree farm.
I know. It was. I was telling Becky before we started that tree farm closed down the year we got married, so I never got to be a part of it. I got to help clean up the shop and everything after they were done, but I was always kind of sad that I never got to experience it. Only got to hear stories and see pictures.
Well, but and beautiful stories they are. Yeah. So I did get some of the ornaments.
Yeah.
And so I was very happy about that. The treasure those. Yeah. Sure.
And thankfully, that last year, my husband Mitchell, he made me a wreath from the trees that were on that farm, and he made my mom one too.
How beautiful!
Yeah. Couldn't keep it up for very long because I'm allergic to everything outside.
Who knows how to do that? I mean,
I know.
It's like
I was like, you need to get that skill back up again.
Absolutely,
and like, you can market that skill.
Definitely.
It was a treasure.
That's cool. That's pretty cool. So let's talk about in what grades do you teach?
So I do in the elementary. I do K through 4.
Okay.
And then I work with the band sometimes, and so that's mostly high school.
Love that. Boy, what an outstanding band too. Right?
Yes, and that program has come a long way.
They're rock stars.
Mr. Lindley and Mrs. Lindley, they are doing great.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Yes. All right, let's talk about let's talk about a kindergartner.
Okay.
Don't you love them? Oh my goodness.
I do. They are a different breed, but they are so much fun. And the things that they will say in the middle of class, I'm like, where did that even come from?
There's so much to be said for a non-existent filter. So as a little kid, they're not trying to say anything that when you're older, you'd be like, oh, we may need to filter that out a little bit. Right. However, the innocence of that is so great that it's just like, don't you wish that people in general could just keep that innocence and wonder just a little longer?
And what I love about kindergartners is that they can be mad at their best friend. Yeah. And in 30 minutes, they're not mad anymore.
Right.
They've forgotten about it. They're best friends again. And they're so forgiving. Yes. And sometimes, like, when I mess up, sometimes I try new lessons out on them. And I'll go, guys, this is the first time I've done this. And I try to be honest with them about that because they appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
And I'll tell them that. And then when I mess up, I go, guys, I'm sorry. This did not work out the way I wanted it to. And they usually are just like, oh, Mrs. Hine, no big deal. Like, it's fine. And
there's that thing that has said everything I learn
I was
life
thinking
as
that.
kindergartner.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And somehow
So
we
it's
forget
like,
those things.
but you could learn a lot from a kindergartner.
Mhm.
That that
Absolutely.
forgiveness factor alone,
Yes.
and just and the graciousness, and just they're the first one to make you feel like you're the most important person in the room.
Yes.
They'll smile at you and be like, "Yeah,
Absolutely.
always happy to see you."
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
you made them go through
It's true.
less than
And then
they
in the
would
next
like.
sentence they'll say, "Oh, and by the way, he was touching me." You know, and I'm like, "Are you bleeding?
Yeah.
Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
They're okay then. Yeah. You have to have that. He's looking at me, or
He's
he's
looking at
touching
me.
Oh
me.
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
all the time. Mrs.
Yeah.
Hine, he was looking at me. Well, why were you looking at him?
Yeah.
Then don't look at him.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, kindergarten, but I'm thinking like on the songs, when you introduce songs, how do you do that? I mean, because that's a lot to learn,
It is definitely an art to introduce a song to kindergartners, or even just a concept. Like, how do you teach a quarter note or eighth notes?
Yeah.
How do you teach that concept to a kindergartner? And you have to start very basic. And a lot of the songs that I just teach by rote. So I like to put up pictures when I teach different, different lines of the song or whatever, and that way that picture sticks in their mind, and that way they'll just be able to sing it better. Or sometimes we have hand motions, that go with different things. Like right now, we're working on one of their Christmas assembly songs called Hip Hop Reindeer.
Oh,
they
we're in.
love it.
We're in
They
for
love
that.
it. Yes, they love
Saturday
it.
night, yeah, we can learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does it go? Hip hop, reindeer?
Let's see. See, now you're putting me on the spot. I can't think of it.
I'm doing
Reindeer, working for the claws, love their hip hop just because. Reindeer, flying through the air, love their hip hop everywhere. And then they had this little part that they sing, and it's got all these different moves and stuff. And what is also really cool is sometimes I go, now what do you think we should do for this part? When we say, a tiny reindeer, hey, that's a lot of feet. I go, what do you think should go here? What should we do with our body? And they come up with the moves, and that makes them own the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So instead of me going, okay, this is what I've come up for this whole choreography for this song, I let them do that, so that way they own it.
Oh, I love
they
that.
can say,
I love
came
that.
up with that.
Yeah.
That.
Did anybody want to, I'm thinking about, what are we gonna, that's a lot of hooves. I mean, did anybody want to show their shoes?
Oh yeah, they're like, let's go, show our
that's-
feet. Yeah, obviously you can't see that on the radio, but
I have a good pair on.
yeah, so they love
We're
that.
Birkenstocks.
Oh yeah.
No, that's.
You
Sorry.
wanna show your
Sorry.
hooves? Yeah, we did.
But it's fun because when they get like really excited, they're focused, but yet at the same time, it's still hurting cats. when they're that little, right?
Oh, I was
yeah.
saying.
I mean,
that's
I will
the
be
fun,
in the
that's
middle.
the joy of it. Like,
Yeah.
I will be in the middle of teaching a song. We will have been doing it for 10 minutes, and in the middle, a kid will raise their hand and go, "Yes, what do you need to say?" "My goldfish died."
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm
in full
sorry.
disclosure, Becky and I would be the exact same way.
absolutely. Yeah.
I'd be
I'm
like,
like, I'm sorry
ready.
for
Now you
you.
said it.
Yeah,
Right.
I've
Take a
got-
minute to
I've
mourn your
got something
goldfish.
on my mind.
And here we are.
It's
Yes,
weighing on
yeah,
my
And we're
mind.
back.
exactly.
Okay.
Right. So going back on the songs, so are you doing some of the traditional Christmas songs?
For Christmas, I like to stay non-traditional.
Okay.
At the end, we might sing like "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" together or something
Okay.
like that. But I like to do something non-traditional, so I'm really kind of teaching them new concepts while I'm teaching these new songs, because I feel like that helps them really focus and think about the music more, because when they're teaching something they already know and have heard for years, it's just kind of like, oh, they just don't even think about it, they just sing it.
Right. I see what
Which is not bad.
No,
that's not bad.
But you're challenging a little bit.
Right, and that way they're just like, oh, I don't know this. This is cool. This is fun. And it keeps them engaged a little bit more, I think. But it's still nice to have.
How wonderful is that?
It's fun. But although I was talking with one of the fourth graders the other day, and they were like, Mrs. Hine, I think we did that song like a few years ago. And I was like, oh, well, you get to hear it again.
Yay.
Sorry.
It's just like Susie Snowflake, never goes out of style.
Oh, no. I
Never.
love that one.
Yeah.
I sang that for an audition one time.
Oh. So,
I didn't get the part, but oh well.
well, I do want to talk about your background on that. Okay, so you tell us a little bit about that.
That was for a elementary school. I was in fourth grade, I think, and I auditioned for one of the musicals in the high school. I didn't do a lot of theater, but I was in band, and I loved being in band. And I tell the kids that all the time. That band changed my life.
Yeah.
Just like and I don't ever want to like put down sports or anything. Like I always try to tell the kids, like, band changed my life, football might change your life,
right? Yeah,
basketball might change your life.
Yeah.
You know, whatever the thing is that you're interested in,
Yeah.
those people become your family. Right? Even though I still try to hide the band.
And we talk we talk about we talk a lot about, you know, kids should try everything,
right?
And you know,
absolutely,
the big guy upstairs gave everybody different skills and talents. So so you gotta expand, and sometimes, you know, you try something out and you didn't realize you would be good at it, and you know, you find your niche. And so I think it's very important for you know, and I've got a 16-year-old very near and dear to me that is a sports kid, and he's good at that, but he appreciates other things too, and that is his talent that he was given, and I think you need to try out things. And I can tell you a lot of folks that music has changed their life, that basketball has changed their life, baseball, whatever. So I think, and that's a good thing about I think one thing too is we've come a long way as far as kids are not as afraid to try something that they might be good at or don't know if they're good at, and they're a little more courageous, because you know, you talk about certain kids that have, like, you know, started the football team, then tries out for the spring musical, you know, and you know, that's a courageous thing, and then realize, hey, I'm pretty good at this too, so you can do a lot of things.
Which is kind of what the middle school musical was about. They did High School Musical in the middle school. That's kind of what it's about. This, you know, big star basketball player who wants to go out for the school musical. Yeah, you know, and that's something that's like not necessarily in his wheelhouse, and so that's how they use it. Sorry to interrupt.
No. That's just lessons that, you know, and find what brings you joy.
Absolutely.
And then you spread that down. That was just kind of.
I love that.
Yeah, and that's something I kind of try to instill in my students too. Is that I know you might not be Beyonce or Luke Bryan or whatever, you know, but I want to help you appreciate the music in our world and the diversity and the lessons and community that come from learning music and how it brings us together. And even if you're not the best singer in the world, I'm not the best singer in the world, I don't care, I mess up all the time. But it helps us to appreciate these things, even if you're not super good at it. You know, and then I do expect you to try.
And there's so many things. There's so many things, like, you know, if you have a grasp for music, you know, there's a lot of math involved in that. You don't realize that you're learning and things like that.
Absolutely.
So I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure. Yes. The beat and everything, you know. So how do you, let's say that you have, you know, someone, maybe second grader, third grader, fourth grader, whatever, that are a little bit shy and really, like, can't really get them to buy into, you know, I mean, you know, your personality is just a little bit more reserved.
Yeah, sure. I keep them out. We don't have class with them. I'm just kidding.
You must go to another school.
Sorry, can't have you. No. I resonate with those kids because I was that kid.
Okay.
I loved music class.
Brian and I, we suffered that.
Yes. But I started that way. I loved music class, and I loved PE class, and I loved art class, but I was very, very shy. And I had a music teacher who always she still saw those skills in me and gave me opportunities to let myself shine. And for those kids, like, I don't try to call them out. I just let them kind of figure it out for themselves, or try to. And then sometimes, like, I will do activities where I say, I sing this, and then you come up with something using these notes to sing back to me. Like with the kindergartners, I'll say, what's your favorite animal? And then they have to come up with the answer using so and me, or whatever. And with the shyer, more reserved kids, I noticed that they want to tell me what their favorite animal is, or who their favorite singer is, or whatever. But sometimes I go, if you whisper it, that's fine. You don't have to sing it in front of the class. You can whisper it to me. And so it usually starts, they'll whisper it to me, and then the next time they will just tell me. Like, they won't sing it necessarily, they'll just say it. And I go, okay, I love your speaking voice. Next time, I want you to use your singing voice. You know? So then the next time, maybe they'll use their singing voice, maybe not. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I still have a few years to get to this kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and sometimes it might, they might already be in 4th grade, but usually that kind of helps break them out. Like slowly, we start whisper, then we do speaking voice, then we do singing voice, and eventually it kind of helps them break out of their shell a little bit. And and I always try to tell the kids, we're all a team here. No, we're not a basketball team, but we're a singing team. And when your voice isn't in our team, we notice.
Oh, I love that.
And even if it's a still small voice, it's still important.
I think that's very special, and I think just to be a part and to. Now, did you? Because then we've not had you on, so I didn't want to go back. And during COVID, was it hard? I mean, what?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was your? I guess you had to be creative, right?
Yes. And at that time, I was in Columbus, so I was at home. I had pots and pans and spoons and all these other household things in front of me, and I would say, okay, I'm going to put this song on, and I'm going to model a percussion accompaniment to this song, and I want you to find something around your house that you can play along with me and send me the video or something like that. Or I would give them, assignments where I would say, please, sing this and send it back to me. Or towards the end of the year, I would say, like we were supposed to do a spring show, and I said, if you still remember the songs, put on a show for me.
Oh.
And I had a couple kids, like they set up their own little stage, and they had their mom take a video, and they sent it to me, and I was adorable.
That's cool.
That's really cool. That is cool.
So,
yeah,
but it's
still. Are you feeling the effects now? I mean, now
Absolutely.
Are you feeling that? Because I think every teacher's realizing there's a difference.
Yes, and and
it's a lot of challenges.
Yes, and even just in a curriculum sense, like I know, at our school, they did not have special area classes for an entire year. In 2021, 22, I think. Or I guess that was last year, so 20 to 21. Anyway, so some of these kids, like during that year, they didn't have PE, they didn't have art, they didn't have music, any of that. And so when I came in, and those kids hadn't had that the year prior, and I was like, boy, 2nd graders should know these rhythms. They should know, these concepts. And I was starting from kindergarten level.
Yeah.
With them. And like 4th graders, they should know these different concepts too. And I was like starting at 2nd grade level with them. And so we've been trying to like kind of build back up from that. But they were so excited to be back. Those kids, they need that. They need that art outlet. They need the music outlet. They need that PE outlet.
Sure.
So definitely, yeah.
Well, I think that was the thing too. I think a lot of teachers. I think every teacher felt this.
Yes.
Coming back and kind of getting back into things,
right.
And just learning. Because some of the children have not been in groups, and learning. That
Yes.
like let's say, don't keep your hands to yourself. Keep your, and
and that's been a big thing too. Is in music. I'm not only focusing on like this as a quarter note, but also social emotional learning.
Yeah.
We have to focus so much on that right now, and that's just something.
And sitting sitting for a little bit of a time, is something that
but just regulating your emotions. That's something that I've really found the past couple of years. I'm having to teach that. When you get angry at someone or whatever, like how are you regulating that within yourself? How can I help you? And that's something I didn't necessarily have to do before. I did a little bit, but nothing like now.
Right.
So it's just
and we forget that kids are out of practice in that.
right.
Yes.
That was one of the things. Not just you could tick off a longer list of things that they quote unquote missed out on, but that type of social interaction like is important. And then when you think about, when you're a little bit older and you're not with as many people, it may be a little different. But I just feel like that when you're younger like that, it's just like, and you don't have that daily reminder of how do I cope, and all of us have a different internal coping mechanism, and I don't mean coping in a negative way, but we all have got to do that, and I think the little kids especially, and then all of a sudden you're thrown back into, well, we're back to normal.
Yeah.
And their normal has never really been what we think of all of us.
Yes.
When you talk about 2-year chunk, you know, their normal is, well, my normal is at home, and if I want to be mad, I can be mad or whatever.
Right. So. But then, like, for a lot of our students, like, you know, normal at home is not normal at home. Mm-hmm. A lot of our students around the whole world, I mean, just the traumatic things that they've experienced, they don't know how to cope with, and then they have to come to school.
Yeah.
You know, exactly. And that trauma doesn't leave.
Right.
You know.
Right. Allison, I think that's 100%. I think it's completely global. I think everybody is experiencing it. But, you know, it's interesting as a teacher, I think teachers are heroes, you know what I mean? And also, no, I mean, really, and to stay with it, you know what I mean? To stay in, you know, when you go to school, you go to college, and you don't know. I mean, let's go back prior. You didn't know this was going to happen, and then now you have so many different avenues you have to go down. You know what I mean? From not just teaching, but emotional, and you know, and we know just in adult life. Let's just talk about the world. You know, people are a little bit more angry. You know, they hit their horn a little bit more. They maybe say bad words a little bit more, yell a little bit more. No, I mean, right? No, I mean, this is, you know, and maybe have no tolerance as much as they used to, right?
Our fuse is shorter.
Their fuses are, and that's something that, you know, that it is. And then when you bring to the children, of course, we as adults didn't understand COVID. I was trying to understand it, and then as a child trying to, they know something's going on, you know, that it's not good in this world, but, you know, what's to do, you know?
And something that I love about my job personally is that I get to see them in a different way that their normal classroom teacher would. So some of the kids that don't necessarily succeed academically, musically, they are passing with flying colors. You know, that's their thing. And so, or even sometimes I've had a teacher go, well, how was this kid today? And I go, they were great.
Oh, I love that.
Should I expect anything else? You know, and then they go, oh, well, they're struggling with, you know, X, Y, Z. And I had no idea, because music for them is that thing. You know, and I talk with the other special areas too, and sometimes I'll go, I'm struggling with this kid. What is something that you've noticed works for them? You know, because in art class, that's their thing. Or for PE, that's their thing, you know, and how we can connect that. And so we're trying to help these kids in that way.
Well, everybody working together and talking and communicating for that child, for each child. Each child has got everybody. It's a village, you know, working with everyone to you know, make this child the best he or she can be, you know.
And I don't think necessarily, and you can. I'm not an educator, so I'm just.
We don't play one on TV.
Sometimes I go, I just work here.
But my thing is, I'm just, and kind of using myself when I was in school, for an example. I kind of feel like that it's not necessarily, each kid does not have to connect with every teacher they have.
Right.
But I think they need to find one. And I think it is absolutely possible for there to be that one teacher, that even that quote unquote, and I hate to use it this way, the kid with the problems, or the one that has the most opportunities and challenges in their day-to-day life. I think that, you know, I think we sometimes think, oh, they have to get along with every teacher. Every teacher has to be that one, you know, hey, which I liked so many of our teachers that we had growing up, but I think it's important that they find that one that is, they're able to just be themselves and not afraid, and I think that's why it's so important and so great that, you know, East Washington has such a diverse group of teachers and administrators and things, and I think that's important. And especially coming out of COVID, I think that everybody's talent's a little different to reaching those kids that maybe in their regular life feel forgotten or not important.
Right.
Well, and it's important for us to remember too, like, I mean, I don't get along with every adult. Not that I don't necessarily not like them, but we just don't mesh, you know, or just like when you go to see a new doctor or something like that, and you know, you want to find somebody who meshes with you, and sometimes you just don't, and that's not necessarily bad.
Right.
It's just, you just don't. And so you can still be compassionate towards a student, right? But even though you might not necessarily mesh personality-wise, and you can't feel bad about that, I guess, or hold yourself accountable for that, because hopefully they do have that teacher, and if that's not you, that's okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure they do. I'm sure,
compassion.
because I think usually there's one teacher that usually stands out in everybody's mind.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So maybe 2 or 3. And so that I think that's fair, very fair to say. I think that Allison, and we talked about her often, and Brad and I, when we were in elementary, we had a Sarah Minor, and she was, I don't know if you've heard her name, but
maybe sounds familiar.
But anyway, she was Salem, and she turned. I mean, those were so valuable. Her classes were so valuable, and those were seeds that were planted in our minds that we'll never forget. So, Allison, I know what you're doing is such a important part. You know what I mean? And even if they're not, even if sometimes you wonder, are they getting it? They're getting it. You know what I mean? And then they're going to go on as adults and remember this. You know what I mean? And you'll always be valuable. Yeah. Sarah Minor's always been valuable to us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just getting us excited, and from a young age, about singing and teaching us about rhythm, and just it's so awesome. I always love music class. It was always
something that we just did last Friday was we did our Veterans Day program.
Yes.
Our brand new corporation-wide Veterans Day program, and
I've done that beautiful auditorium.
What? I'm sorry.
Did you have that beautiful auditorium?
No, we did it in the gym.
Okay.
We did it in the gym. And we had some guest speakers, and it was just, the kids did a great job. It was, elementary kids did things, middle school, high school, they did a great job.
And what songs did you pick out?
We sang, I did my elementary rhythm and rhyme, and that's my after-school choir. And we sang the national anthem with the band at the beginning, and then we sang a song called American Tears. And it's hard to hold it together during that song. But something that's interesting about Veterans Day is, like, I always have to give my spiel to these kids about how this is not necessarily a fun, quote-unquote, concert. Like, we can have some upbeat songs, but that's not necessarily the purpose of it, like Christmas is, or some other spring program or something we might do. But our goal of this concert is to honor the veterans.
Love that.
That is our goal. Yeah. And if you feel like you have met that goal, then we did our job. And I was working with these 4th graders on this, and sometimes we don't give the kids the credit that they're due. When we talk about, like, they don't understand necessarily what sacrifice is, or something like that. And after I had taught this song, and after they did it, after they performed it, I feel like they understand better what veterans did for us. And especially after they perform it, and then they can see those veterans sitting there right in front of them, and the emotion on their faces, and the way they thank them. And I had a couple kids come up to me afterwards and say, Mrs. Hine, like, I didn't know that song could make me feel that way. Oh. And I said, it's amazing what music can do.
Yeah.
And I said, I hope you go thank those people.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
But it's definitely, it's a journey for them, and it's cool to see them start and then where they end up.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing from when you start at kindergarten and then when you get them at 4th grade.
That is the best part of my job, is that I get to see them grow.
Yeah.
And I get to see them grow as musicians. I get to see them grow as people.
Yeah.
I love that part of my job.
Yeah, I would do it. Yeah, that's like a coach.
Yes.
From the beginning of the season till your season's a little bit longer, but from the beginning to the it's awesome. So are we working on Thanksgiving? Did we do any Thanksgiving songs?
Not Thanksgiving. I do a little bit, and we talk. Right now we're doing
turkeys, or what is it? Or turkey?
Yes, 5 fat turkeys. Yes. There's actually a song.
Pumpkin pie.
I like to do.
Those are some of my favorite.
Yeah, that's
on
a good
my
one.
albums that I've been releasing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday
I like
night.
that one. Yeah.
Here's Brad's part. Yummy, yummy drumstick.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
That's a good part.
Absolutely.
That's Brad when Brad comes in.
Yeah. We'll perform in a moment.
We will.
We're good.
We don't get the calls that we should, but
yes.
but
That's
we are
okay.
available.
That's okay. Yeah.
Well, I don't necessarily do like Thanksgiving songs, I guess. We do songs about gratefulness. And there is a Thanksgiving song I like to teach to my 1st and 2nd graders. It's called Pavo Pavo, which is in Spanish, which means turkey, turkey. And that's something else I like to do in music too, is try to focus on different cultures and different experiences within those cultures and how that's brought up.
Oh,
brought out in music. But right now we're really focusing on our Christmas assembly that's coming up faster than I would like it to.
So we have some Christmas programs?
We're just going to have like an assembly in the gym.
Okay. Will the parents get to come to us?
No, not this time.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll record it. But yeah, not this year.
Okay.
Yep. Still kind of working through some protocols and things like that.
I understand.
So.
And that, I think everybody understands that.
Yeah.
Gotta do that. Yeah. Well, that's going to be fun, and I'm sure they.
But they haven't had one in 3 years. 3 or 4 years.
So, and I'm sure that the parents will be very grateful to hear all the songs that they're going to be hearing at home. You know. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
So that's
yeah,
exciting.
they've been working hard.
Okay, so you said you also work with the high school band.
Yes.
So what's your?
I mostly do woodwind.
Okay.
I am a woodwind tech for the most part. Sometimes I'll do full band stuff, but I haven't gotten really to work with them this year, just because we've been moving. We've had a almost 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Now she is 1.
Yeah.
She just turned 1 last week.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's a redhead. She's a spitfire.
I love that.
She's a lot of
There you go.
fun. She's a little crazy, but we love her. So we've just been kind of busy, and we've been trying to get our house all figured out and everything. Is we're actually living in my husband's cousin's basement right now.
No, that's okay.
While we're waiting on our house to be finished.
Well, it'll be fantastic. And,
But they've been great. They're wonderful. Like landlords, I guess.
I love that. Trust the process. It's going to be wonderful. So, yeah, that's great.
So, but we worked with them a lot last year, and my husband did as well. He's really a brass guy, and I'm a woodwind girl.
Oh, that's cute.
What
happens when a
nice.
brass guy and a woodwind girl?
And then
now that is a Hallmark movie.
Well,
you know,
and
when they
his
come
sister,
together.
Mitchell's sister, Amy, is the guard director. So
goodness.
I said hashtag Hind takeover.
There you go.
But so last year I worked with them a lot, but I haven't gotten really to do a lot this year. But I got to hear them on Friday when they played, and they sound phenomenal. They sound wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of them.
Well, that's cool too, though, to get to know. You know, what I mean, and then later, as you, the more you've taught, the more these students will be your students.
Yes.
That you
Right.
had, and
Yeah.
and they, I don't know if we actually said it on the air, but the band at Eastern is just fantastic. I've always been a fan, and the relationship that Salem and Eastern have together in the band is fantastic.
Yes.
Supporting each other, and the students do this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Salem's done very well this year.
That's
and I know they have a new band director who's doing great. And
Yeah. Jean's doing wonderful. They just got recognized. We just recognized
Yeah,
them
I
up there in
saw.
the state. Yes, so we just recognized them at our school board meeting. So I'm very proud of them. And of course, I know Eastern, you guys are rock stars too, and I know that the relationship is awesome. You know, and I love the high schools supporting each other.
Yes.
You know.
Well, and it's the life lessons that the kids learn that are just as important as learning how to march with an instrument. You know, and I'm not putting that down. Absolutely, it's great.
I mean, I know you march. I
just-
march with an instrument every day.
You know, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But I think those life lessons are just, you know, again, it's a way that, you know, music has a way of teaching us lessons that we didn't necessarily think we would go into. You know, you didn't, you know, the kids at Eastern, they didn't think that, you know, by joining the band and playing an instrument and being a part of that, that they would learn the life lesson of, you know, one of their peers, one of the students had, hey, Salem's got band camp. Why don't we take them ice cream and stuff like that, just to give them a break, because we've been there. We know what it's like to be on that parking lot practicing and all that kind of stuff. So those are the type of things that it's just like, you know, music did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to load up the kids and bring them on over and fellowship like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, you think about fellowshipping with ice cream, that's a banner
I
day.
mean,
say,
I mean,
yeah.
I know, I was going to say, they could have stopped by and picked me up and I'd have headed
Hey, let's
right
all
over.
fellowship with
Yeah.
ice cream.
Yeah, I like fellowshipping with ice cream.
Yes.
No, I just think that didn't, nobody, I mean, I call them purple cows, when it's totally unexpected, when you did not expect that to happen.
Yeah.
And I love purple cows, you know what I'm saying? Things
Yeah.
like that. You know,
Purple
when you're
cows.
not,
I have to add that into my vernacular.
yeah, when somebody does something that you didn't expect, and it makes your day, you know, just like, purple cows.
Yep.
But anyway, so I love that. So let's talk, and I don't know if you're a dreamer, and I don't know how you
Depends
feel.
on the day.
But like, what are some of the things I think you'd like to see, you know, for the art? I mean, what's your, when you say goodbye to the children in 4th grade, right?
Yes.
Okay, 4th grade. what are the things that you're hoping to have in there? I guess I call it like almost like a toolbox.
Toolbox. Yep, that's what I was just getting ready to say that. I was like, that's what I call it.
What are some of the things you'd like to have in the toolbox?
Like I said earlier, I just want them to appreciate the art and appreciate what it can do for people. And even if, like I said, like if they're not talented in that way, it's okay. I would also like to see them, take the things in their toolbox that they learned and maybe try something new. Try choir, try band. And if you don't like it, that's okay. Or stick with it. That would be great too. But just appreciation for that art and what it takes to practice and be good at that art. That's something I think sometimes that is a little lost in our world today, is people think you have to be talented and then you just, you're talented and you're just good at it and that's where you are. And I know so many people who are talented but have worked so hard. You have to practice so much.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, when kids go, how are you so good at the piano? I'm not that good at piano. They think I am, but I'm not. I'm just one step ahead of them. But they go, how did you do that? And I go, I practiced a lot. I always tell them that. And they go, yeah, but you're just, like, good at it. And I go, no. I practiced really hard. Or they go, how are you so good at recorder? I've been practicing for 20 years. Yeah. And I want them to have the appreciation for how far practice can get you. Right. And working hard at something can get you if you want it.
Yeah.
And sometimes practice is, you don't want to practice.
Right.
But after a while, practice becomes something that you look forward to. Not every day, but, So I want them to remember those things.
It's whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it.
Right.
Yep. So do you have some, though, that you, like, maybe that are interested in singing, let's say, and do you try to help them get to that, maybe to that voice coach somewhere, or maybe to a singing?
If I knew where there were voice coaches around here, that'd be great.
Yeah, but I'm saying some avenues.
But yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I have kids that ask me, like, do I know any piano teachers? Do I know, things like that. And I try to point them in the way that, where they want to go.
Right.
I try to.
Right. So if there is one listening, and you would, maybe a piano teacher or a voice coach, and
especially since I'm new in this community, so I don't necessarily know.
Please contact Allison. And at least you'd have their name on file if somebody be interested.
Like when I was in Columbus, I just kept like a big Google Doc of names and numbers of people who taught piano, who taught flute, who taught,
Yeah, definitely. Well, and that's, that's good to have, because someone might want to go further, and, a lot of times with your voice or, or your music or, or whatever, and you develop it young and then just keep working with it,
Right. Yep, absolutely.
So I would say I think that's, and I'm sure that you'd be delighted if someone wanted to.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think about, like, if when they become adults and, they're on stage and they say, Mrs. Hine taught us. Wouldn't that
goodness, that would have happy tears.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Well, I think you're making a difference. I know you're making a difference. You're making a difference, and that's important, And
I just want them to be good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, like, yes, of course, I would love to see them become musicians, but I just want to produce good people.
Yeah. Well, and I think music, going back, of course, I love music. I know Brad does too. And I think music sometimes, I have a sign out there that speaks, how is it? I don't remember how it goes. Something about, music can change the world is what I'm going to hear. But but also music, can maybe be a part, like, like sometimes if you're down or if you're, and we all have those, or you're hurt or something, a song will come on, either radio or in your head, and it makes you, helps you.
Yes. And sometimes I try to tell the kids, don't boss your emotions. Ooh. If your emotions are there, don't boss them around. Don't let them take control of you, but if you feel sad, don't sit there and think, I shouldn't feel sad. You can feel sad.
Yeah.
And if the music is making you, like, bringing that sad emotion up, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't boss it.
I love that.
Yeah. Because I've had kindergartners go, this song made me cry and I don't know why. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Music does that. It's fine.
And I think that's something that music can do that words maybe can't do.
Yes.
And I think and that we all have that in our head. And I'm one of those. I get a song and get stuck in my head, over and over and over.
My grandfather was very much, I mean, he, very active in the church, and so he was always, he loved bluegrass music, and he loved hearing bluegrass players play church songs and things like that. But I remember one time we were talking about just randomly, and I got to spend a lot of time with just him, and we were just randomly talking about songs on the radio, because back then, we were Wslm down the road when we were going places and stuff, and you think about all the different types of music that were played on the same radio stations and that type thing. But we were having a conversation about music, and it was funny because I was giving him, actually it started out me giving him grief, because my grandma, when she wasn't a big fan of the bluegrass church songs, she wanted the old-fashioned, just, let's get in there and play a church song, right?
Love that.
But he was laughing at, because I was giving him a hard time about that, because I think I picked up my love for bluegrass music from him. But when he was talking about it, he said, it doesn't matter if anybody's saying anything at all. If you're sitting and it may be two people that don't get along, but if you're sitting in a room and you're listening to the same song, you can't help but bridge the gap between those two human beings for that moment.
Yes.
For that moment, for however long that song is, or however long you listen to it for that moment. And I always think that's interesting. You don't think about music that, even if you're spending time with maybe your child or your sibling or a parent that you maybe don't get along, if you turn on a song for just a few moments, that even if you're struggling for words to say, you're connecting for that moment. And I think that's always kind of important. And that may seem a little sappy, but I really believe that that's a way
don't
that
boss
even
your emotions.
yeah,
it's fine.
even if you're not talking about things, you are connected for that moment in time, and I think that's important.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's so important. I agree. Yeah, very good, Bradley. Well, Allison, I'm so glad that you came in this morning.
Thank you for
having me. Please come back and visit us. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. And I love being here. It's great.
Well, I'm very proud of you, and I'm so happy that the matchmaker that Jeremy is, that
Me too.
Jennifer, sounds like that was a successful story, You hear the other stories, and so it was a successful story, and we're so glad to get you down here in our community. What a blessing, and what a wonderful part of an ingredient of of our community. So
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I think Eastern's very blessed to have you. So it's awesome. Yeah, Eastern School Corporation, beautiful. I was at in your school corporation yesterday. Amanda Shanks.
Yes.
She's our teacher
Congratulations,
of the month,
Amanda.
And very proud of her.
Yes.
Yeah, so she was outstanding. So anyway, beautiful school corporation and a very active school corporation. You did the amazing shake yesterday. Am I saying that right? Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to call it Shakeology or something. I don't remember how you.
I've used Shakeology before.
Yeah. The amazing shake. So anyway, hats off to your school corporation, and thanks for sharing your all about you with us.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, Bradley, let's thank our sponsor.
Real quick, we're having our in-store sale today.
Yes.
It started at 6 a.m., so a lot of pre-Black Friday stuff. So you can do it online or in-store. We got things both places today, so check that out.
Yeah.
So
talked to our good friend Denise Newkirk last night. Had a chance to talk with her, and she said, "Those trees, good deals, good deals." Yeah. So I think Frank's been unwrapping and getting out of the box some trees for her.
There you go. There you go. I love her. So,
I do.
Yeah, she is an amazing person. All right. So our sponsors: Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Upland, Celebrity Home Loans, Dr. Blackside Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, and Fox Really Wealth Management.
Happy Wednesday.
Gobble, 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 gobble. This is Jalen Hoare and John Jones. Turkey season is here. Now you have the opportunity to not only stuff your belly, but stuff your pockets. Right now at John Jones, we are looking to buy your car. We are always looking to pick up some new inventory, especially as we come upon the busiest time of the year. And for you men out there, and maybe even some women, I know that you may be participating in No Shave November, but not us here at John Jones, because we are constantly shaving down our prices to give you the biggest savings possible. Check out our inventory online at johnjonesautogroup.com or give us a call at 877-473-5546. And again, I'm Jalen Hoare at John Jones Salem. And remember, You see so many because they paid so little.
Remember when you had your birthday party at McDonald's, playing with your family and friends, enjoying cake and that one-of-a-kind McDonald's food and drink? If you're looking for a fun and safe place to have a party for your children or grandchildren, look no further. Party time is back at McDonald's right here in Salem, Mitchell, and West Baden. That's right, hosted birthday parties are back, baby! Call event coordinator Renee Lewis at 812-788-0126 to schedule your birthday for Salem, Mitchell, or West Baden today. The party includes food and drink for up to 10 guests, with your choice of white or chocolate cake, ice cream for each child, a gift for the birthday boy or girl, goodie bags for each child, and a festive decorated party area. Parties at Salem allow children to play, while the McDonald's in Mitchell and West Baden will feature age-appropriate games. Let McDonald's make your child's next birthday party stress-free for you and fun for them. Call Renee at 812-788-0126 today and get your next party on the schedule at McDonald's.
Coffee with friends, family dinners, watching the grandkids play soccer on Saturdays, church on Sundays. Sounds pretty normal, but COVID is still there, and if you aren't vaccinated, you're still at risk. We're almost back to normal. Let's give it a shot. Call Hoosier Uplands Economic Development Corporation today at 812-849-4457 to learn more. Let's give back to normal a shot.
Attention seniors, Salem McDonald's has started Senior Tuesdays. Every Tuesday from 2 to 5, seniors receive 25% off their purchase. This offer is not valid with any other offer, and only between the hours of 2 and 5. There's always something to celebrate with McDonald's, with their fresh, hot breakfast, hot cakes, bacon, and eggs, and their bagel sandwiches to everyone's favorite Big Mac and Quarter Pounder. And birthday celebrations are back in Salem, Mitchell, and French Lick with Renee. Stop by today and find out all the great ways to celebrate with McDonald's. And don't forget, let your favorite senior know about Senior Tuesdays from 2 to 5. I'm loving it.
Do you dread the alarm clock? Do you feel like you haven't slept when you hit the snooze? Do others complain about your snoring? Treating adults, children, and teens, Dr. Emily Servance with Schneck Sleep Medicine is specially trained to help you get the most restful sleep possible. Snoring, restless legs, sleep apnea, night terrors, insomnia, all common signs of a sleep disorder. If you think you have a sleep problem, talk to your physician about a referral to Schneck Sleep Medicine. Schneck Sleep Medicine, schneckmed.org.
Dr. Minigun invites you to her new high-tech office in Salem at 1350 South Jackson Street. Her office is a part of Dr. Brad Eye Associates, regarded as one of the leading eye care centers in the United States. The combined practice, eye doctors and surgeons have helped thousands of people enjoy better vision. Dr. Mindy Gunn is committed to excellence because the people from Kentucky turn to her for answers, and patients turn to Dr. Gunn for the best eye care treatment available. If you're experiencing vision problems or having problems with your current glasses or contacts, give her a call today at 812-896-1717. Dr. Mindy Gunn is seeing patients for the latest in advanced eye care. You can get glasses, contacts, or prescription sunglasses. Come visit Dr. Gunn at Dr. Eye Associates in their new high-tech paperless office today. They are closed on Mondays, open Tuesday 9 to 6, Wednesday 8 to 5, Thursday 9 to 6, Friday 8 to 5, and every other Saturday 8 to noon. Most insurances are accepted and affordable payment options can be worked out with you. To schedule your next eye appointment, again, call 812-896-1717.